People who get locked into a vision. All right, that's it, man. That's their drive. That's their passion. Critics don't matter. This don't matter. They're going to do whatever it fucking takes to be the best at what they do.
EliteFTS Table Talk Podcast back at S5 Studios.
Yep.
Mason, what's happening?
Same old.
Oh,
Another day at EliteFTS, I guess.
You know what's cool is today is Friday, so there's obviously a different vibe in here. It's the summertime. It's nice out. But we're working.
Yeah.
We're on the clock right now.
We are on the clock.
But let's make it not feel like we're on the clock, shall we?
Sure.
What are we talking about today?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the host.
Well, you're the host. We're co-hosts. A lot of the questions that we've been getting is about the status of our leader, CEO Dave Tate. And people want to know what's going on with him. And I think we should talk about it a little bit.
Go ahead.
So, what do you think? What do you think people are so worried about him?
I mean, people like him. You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny that. I guess maybe not universally, but the people of EliteFTS, if they don't like Dave, they probably are not people of EliteFTS.
Do you feel like a substitute teacher when we do the podcast?
Only not the substitute teacher that everyone's excited for. You know, there's the substitute teacher that everyone's like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
But I just feel like the random one that no one's met before.
We had a substitute teacher in school, and her name was I could probably say her name. Her name was Mrs. Brannicky, and she physically looked like the Wicked Witch of the West. And she talked like the Wicked Witch of the West. And she was like a fucking rattlesnake, right? But that made it worse on her. Like, the kids would just have an absolute field day because they would like to see her reactions, which is a lot like social media these days, right?
That's true.
Like, the crazier someone reacts to a troll comment, the better it is for the troll.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We were little trolls in school. Shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All children are just like little trolls.
Absolute trolls. Like, and what could we do to get this lady to flip the fuck out?
Yeah.
No one, I mean, people are trying to get us to flip out. I mean, we're called dweebs, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to troll, there's plenty of good things that they could troll us about, I'm sure.
True.
Anyway, so talking about Dave, so interesting business environment we're in where we've got the quarantine, which has put many businesses off the map altogether. You know, especially in our space, which is fitness. There's gyms, some of the biggest gyms in the world are filing for bankruptcy, closing their doors, which certainly affects us a little bit. I mean, we sell gym equipment to gym, right?
That is our primary, you know, that's where the money comes in from.
That's
Doesn't come in from YouTube or Instagram. It comes in from people actually buying gym equipment.
Absolutely. And those are our big hits. And when gyms aren't open and schools aren't open, that impacts our business. There's no doubt about it. But the one thing that Dave has been focusing on, he does this thing called the SWOT Analysis. I don't know if you ever heard him talk about it. But
yeah, he dropped it.
Yeah, basically, I think he does a SWOT analysis on what time to brush his teeth in the morning. I mean, he lives by that system.
What is the system? Explain it.
SWOT?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't...
Well, what does it stand for?
Well, I knew you were going to ask that. Now, I don't know either. But basically, it's a strategic way of analyzing risk.
Yeah.
Okay? And he does this. He's been doing this well before we went into lockdown and well before schools and gyms were closing that were affecting our business. So Dave has been so prepared for anything as much as a tornado wiping this whole place out and carrying our inventory and scattering across the the cow pastures here in London, Ohio.
Flood carrying away all of our benches and plates.
Absolutely.
SWOT analysis is SWOT
Yes.
analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So that is where the threats most comes in. Most people are a fan of Dave because he is known as a thinker, not just a man who says whatever the hell comes to his mind. So if you'll probably be intrigued to know that he's been doing that with his whole business as well for years, for every opportunity.
Absolutely. So what this means is, since quarantine, Dave has been analyzing and adjusting. And what's been nice is we've been able to capitalize on the direct-to-consumer type market, where we've been able to make some significant moves in the home gym space. We've been attracting new customers that are trying to stay fit, and we've been slowly but surely kind of changing a little bit of our identity. EliteFTS will always be EliteFTS, dedicated to strength sports.
Top five training, or top 5 priorities in your life. Training's got to be there for you to be our base customer. Yeah.
Absolutely right. And another thing is what Dave and EliteFTS stands for is educating and giving athletes tools they need to succeed.
Live, learn, and pass on for those who do not know it.
Live, learn, and pass on. So where's Dave then? Well, he's assessing these things on a daily basis, and it has kind of put us in a position where we're thinking, well, what's the best way in this environment we're in now, which is ever changing, to be able to put the content together that we do and disseminate it in the best way possible. So right now we're asking ourselves, is Table Talk Podcast the best way to do that? We don't know yet. Is our videos. One thing we do know is the best way that we can disseminate information quickly and live sometimes is our Instagram. Instagram, we have a lot of confidence in right now. Will that change? Yeah, I know it will. There was a time where EliteFTS was all articles.
Yeah, all forums, all Q&As.
Forums, Q&As, exactly right. So think about that way of delivering messages, and then what direction we're kind of going now. And things could change, ever changing. We also want to find a way to get more of the community involved. So, having everything dedicated to strength sports is great because that's our identity, but we want to mix it up a little bit too. So I think that what we're going to see is possibly a change in the format of Table Talk, or maybe not even a Table Talk, but along the lines of podcasts, and what we're doing on YouTube would be, let's kind of get inside of Dave's head in this SWOT analysis, and let's see, let's talk business. I think that there's a lot of people that are strength athletes that have their own business or interested in their own business.
It overlaps well, the kind of do things on your own type mentality. And I know we have at least 1 or 2 content creators, authors, like Chris Cooper writes awesome. I think his focus is in gyms and business, but he's everyone on the EliteFTS website is someone that's every columnist. Sometimes we have outside submissions, but they're people basically hand curated by Dave to be people who write stuff for us. So they're people with the big stamp of approval from him. And Chris Cooper, that's just, a shout out, more EliteFTS content for people. He's a 2-brain business, and he writes on the gym and business type stuff. But as a whole, as we are more than half of a business, we're not just online stuff. That's stuff that Dave knows. That's stuff that that's stuff that most of the columnists know, because half of them run their own training business or their own physical gym.
Well, think about it. Of our customers and the people that engage with us on social media, watch our YouTube, read our articles, their job isn't powerlifting.
Yeah.
Their job isn't bodybuilding.
Very few people have the job of powerlifter.
Yeah. But, this is, I think, Scott Paltos said, we're the third spot. There's home, work, and the gym. All right. And you want to maximize, and I think we'll kind of go down this path here today, which would be, how do you optimize yourself?
Yeah.
And that's why people tune in to listen to Dave speak, because Dave will tell them exactly how to fix a shitty deadlift.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because last night we posted a video of me doing a shitty deadlift. And I am very excited to kind of get in and start building more strength. And we wanted to see kind of, I guess, take the temperature of what kind of comments we would get.
Yeah.
We got a lot of comments, which was cool.
Yeah. Do you know how many?
Last I checked, it was close to 300,
Yeah.
which is good for us. I mean, we get a lot of video views, but comments,
Yeah.
we really don't have we haven't had the best platform for people to comment.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to create something like that because people, the internet, people want to fucking comment. They need a place to just, I need to write something.
Yeah.
So we need to, that's one thing that we're trying to figure out too.
And that's the reason it was a Q&A first. And that's the reason that Dave, is known for answering questions and stuff like that. It's because we can put out as much information as we want, but if it's not the answer to the questions people are asking, then it doesn't do anybody any good.
That's right. So to your point is the questions or the amount of engagement that we're getting through some of this stuff, we think that it might be better if we talk about business or talk about the things that we know that we are experts at. You're an expert in the sports and conditioning field, right? So we need to create a platform for you to be able to take those questions and live, learn, and pass on to the people that are very interested in, sports conditioning specifically. My background with, owning my own gym and then in the supplement world, I'm very interested and I feel qualified. And it's all ever changing. Like the shit I know about supplements, I don't know how to make them, right?
Yeah.
I really don't. I couldn't tell you everything every ingredient does, but I could tell you how to sell it.
Yeah.
Which makes me a street pharmacist.
Yeah.
Right?
Drug dealer.
Drug dealer.
Street pharmacist is the that's the official legal term.
That's my official title. But then also it's and I feel that within the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be selling supplements at EliteFTS.com.
Yeah.
And the best part is,
I think we just put some up.
we have some on there, but I think we're going to grow it a little wider.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about having a guy like Dave on that's going to put the final stamp of approval on things, because people know Dave and
They trust Dave.
yeah, they know we're not going to put up some bullshit on supplements.
Dave's not about to start selling tubs of powdered sugar, with Muscle Explosion 9000 written
Muscle
on them.
Explosion, yeah. I think there was a supplement that used to have some packaging on it where it said "leader in science." Like I forget what the brand was, but it was like, increases muscle gains by 7% from a university study.
Yeah.
Leader in science. So it's good.
Yeah.
So, and then I want to get into what's Dave and I and have in common is we both have an autistic son. And for us, it's very important to kind of be the kind of champion that.
Yeah.
And get behind it and educate, because if we're able to just kind of give people a little bit of insight on, how our boys live life, it will make their lives easier, which in turn makes my life easier, right? And that's what we're all about. So if I can find ways to teach as many people as possible about how my son operates, first off, let me just put it this way. If you know how to work with someone with autism, it makes you even more effective when dealing with neurotypical people, right? Because
It's communication skills.
Yes, and it requires you to have a level of empathy where you are in the shoes of someone else, and it's that's tough to teach. But, we had trial by fire. It's like, your son's autistic. Okay, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been great. So, what were you just talking about?
Everything. What EliteFTS wants to do going forward with Table Talk, everything.
And I don't think we know the answer of what we want.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to keep testing.
What we want is we want to know what people want from us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think by us trying to create more engaging platforms, we'll be able to create a community around it. So going back to that video that we posted on Instagram, I did a shitty deadlift and we were getting all these comments. It was like, okay, this is great. What we learned, an overwhelming majority of people posted very, very constructive criticism. Hey, pull the slack out of the bar. Walk your shins closer. Put your feet this way. Put your feet that way. Engage your lats. Don't do a reverse grip or over-under grip. Don't use straps. And it was like, okay, this is cool. You know what's funny, though? I did a lot of those, and I put 315 on the bar today. I couldn't even get it off the ground, not even an inch.
Deadlift's weird. It doesn't operate on the rules of like normal sports science and programming. It's just like based off the alignment of the moon or something. That's how you know your deadlift will move well that day.
It doesn't follow Newtonian physics.
Yeah, it's on its own system.
I told my brother, and my brother's he's into this, and he's like, that is how the deadlift works.
Yep.
I said, well, dude, my goal is to pull more weight, and you're trying to get me to pull less weight, but
Take weight
do it
off
right.
the bar to get stronger is always the impossible battle.
Oh, it's like not what I wanted to do. So then
You also don't need a torn bicep either.
Yeah. How do I increase my deadlift instantly and never get hurt?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like I said, all this is going to do for me is prevent me from not getting hurt. Well, yeah. It'll grow. So, maybe that's what people said when they said you need to stop ego lifting.
Yeah, that was a theme.
It's like, how do you know I was ego lifting? Yeah. Like, you'll never know that. See, that's where the empathy comes in.
True.
But then a small percentage of people had something sarcastic to say. And I'll tell you this. I am all for sarcasm. I love it. But it could have been better.
True.
So if you're
Step it up.
Step it up.
We high quality sarcasm only.
Like
if you're
come
going
at
us, give us your best.
Absolutely right. Like if this is just a half-assed attempt at sarcasm, stop. Mm-hmm. This post is going to be up for a while. Take your time, think it through, type it out, read it to yourself. And then
share it with friends and family members. Get some feedback, make a second draft.
Absolutely. Then post.
Yeah.
And then the smallest percentage was like,
eat shit and die.
Yeah. You are stupid.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself.
Don't ever deadlift again. Quit. Go pick up stamp collecting.
Yeah. Pick up a new hobby. Yeah. Go back to gaming, whatever people wanted to say. And it was like, all right, whatever. What's interesting is like you want to get people's. We were talking about the substitute teacher that everyone wanted to get a rise out of, and it's like I could see how some people would get upset with some of those things, but it's like if I even knew the person that wrote the comment, I'd probably be fine with it.
Yeah.
Right? I'd be like,
it's always a private account, right? So you can never know what their
you never do. And I'm like, you know what? If you wrote something, but their goal was to like maybe piss me off or piss somebody else off, and I'm like, I don't think we'll understand that part of human psychology other than, I'm interested in it, and I think we all are interested in it because if you look at the videos on YouTube that get a ton of views.
Yeah.
It's the ones that
it's the most controversial things. It's the clickbait era of all social media, It's not the 20 tips for improving your deadlifts and reducing injuries. This is why X person is a fake natty or they use fake weights or something about them is fake and they're a liar and I hate them.
Outing fake natties is crazy, and that's fun to do for some people. And we were talking about this yesterday where, if you comment on someone's video, that's the best favor you could do for them.
Yeah, leaving a shitty comment on a video does nothing but good for that YouTube video.
Absolutely.
So if you want to hit them where it really hurts, you don't comment at all.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem is people love the video, are less likely to like it, and even less likely to comment on it.
Yeah, it's very hard to get positive comments and thumbs ups on videos.
So now, do you want to, Dave and I have had this conversation before, but it's we have EliteFTS isn't, Dave will tell you this, it's not him.
Yeah.
It's EliteFTS is its own thing, right? And it's me and you and everybody in here.
All of our columnists, all of our coaches,
our
all of
vendors,
our athletes.
Yeah, people we work with, and so to give it an identity that has an opinion is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Which a lot of businesses are in this space now because there's a lot of social issues going on right now. And some businesses are courageously taking stands and some just are like, we don't know what to do because, we all have different opinions and this is a standalone entity. It doesn't have an opinion.
Yeah.
So, and we're dealing with that too, right? So, and it's just a tough position for anyone to be in. And, but whatever, we'll make the best decisions with it. But we were thinking, what if we created something that encouraged comments?
Yeah.
And the people that comment are the people that want to be mean or want to be funny.
Yeah.
Right. And, or those, you see the people, who was it? Who was the video? Rich Piana or something like that, or Vegan Gains, or just some.
The conversation started on when talking about clickbait. I don't even like saying his name because it's the exact same thing we're talking about. Is now we're giving him views, we're giving him publicity, but someone like Vegan Gains who makes his best videos are the ones that are calling out people, and I think his top one was calling out Rich Piana for something or
being
another.
Fake natty.
Well, I don't think Rich Piana's fake natty,
no,
or
he's
was,
not.
I guess, because I was gonna say R.I.P. to the late Rich Piana, but on his videos he talked about at any point you can disable those comments on every YouTube video, and then you wouldn't have to worry about any mean thing said to you ever. But he left it up. Not entirely, but partially because if you leave a negative comment, like we're saying, that boosts you in the algorithm a bunch. You can go and leave 60 shitty comments thinking you're doing something bad to someone, but at the end of the day, you just probably gave them 1,000 more views.
Right. It's the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
So do we create a platform that allows people to get this shit off their chest? Because if we did, obviously it'd be great for views and it would accomplish the goals that we're looking for from a view standpoint. But is it are views the answer? Because maybe it's getting merchandised in front of people that that wouldn't even work with us or don't even care about our message.
I'm writing another article. I do have one about training on EliteFTS for anyone that wants to, if you don't think I have any credibility at all, it's fine. But just go and comment on that and then boost me up in whatever algorithm we have.
Comment, and subscribe.
Mostly leave hate comment. That's gonna be what I drop. But it's about asking the right questions in both sport and business. You can drive up views, and that's awesome until those views aren't actually getting you what you want out of them.
Right.
Dave talks about in powerlifting, your key performance indicators.
KPIs.
Yeah. The trick is actually knowing what is and isn't a key performance indicator.
That's right.
Because views are a good key performance indicator at first glance, until you jack them up a bunch and nothing changed. You wondered why.
Then you can't reverse engineer to get the actual number that you want.
Well, the thing is if you focus too much on the KPI, then you're not realizing what the KPI represented. Because the views that you may have been getting before were a representation of getting more customers and getting more engagement and delivering more value to the people who wanted to buy things from you.
Right.
But if we go and make a fake nanny video, even if we get 10 million views, if 99% of them weren't of the category of people who were ever going to buy from us, that KPI was worthless. You know?
Absolutely
It,
right.
it didn't mean anything anymore. And so that's the question you have to ask. It's why does this mean something to me? You know, why does a squat improve a baseball player's, you know, performance? Is it because, does that mean, you know, we should drop everything and we should focus on trying to get him an 800-pound squat?
That's right.
Probably not. We need to focus on what gets him better at baseball.
And that's another thing that Dave has been inundated with is like, okay,
That's where he excels, of anything, on every topic. This is like his KPI type stuff, I feel like, is his strong point.
I agree with you. And it's like, you know, I would have clients. So, you know, I would do digital marketing for supplement brands. And, you know, we would have the owners or, you know, the presidents or the presidents of sales or whatever looking at the wrong KPIs all the time. Like, we only have 10,000 followers. How come we don't have any more? And I said, well, you know, we can easily get you more followers if that's what you want.
There's a reason people sell followers.
Yeah,
you know?
you can buy followers, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the end result.
Yeah.
What is your goal? We want more sales.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, we have to figure out who we want as a follower. So we have to like do a lot of data mining to determine, you know, where's our demographic at, you know, what age groups, so forth, where do they live, and then we can put, you know, programs together to kind of slide them down a funnel. Now, just because someone's in your demographic and is interested in your product or service doesn't necessarily mean that they're a customer either.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's where the funnel is. That's what the funneling is all about. So a lot of businesses are looking at this top end of the funnel and thinking like that is the number that is the most important to us. The followers. Well, maybe, but if we don't move them down the funnel to the next step where it's like, okay, they've actually engaged with something that we've done. And even then, someone may just be, you know, coming to EliteFTS for information only. I've seen so many comments where it's like, you know, Dave, I've been reading your articles for 20 years. I finally bought some wrist straps from you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you know what? It worked.
It worked. Yeah.
It worked. And it's like, you know what? You know, obviously thank that person. But for Dave and for us, it's a win-win because we've been providing them with useful information for all these years. And then they bought something. That's great. You know, that's awesome. But I think for Dave, it's more important that they learn this stuff. Like if you talk to Dave, like he like broke down my deadlift, and it was, first off, I think he said there was only 10 people that commented on it
That were correct.
Right? Steve Goggins, who was probably one of them, you know, which was so cool. But
He probably watched the table talk and felt he had to return a favor.
That's right. He helped me out. So it's, you know, finding that part, I think for Dave, for getting people to read all these articles is probably where he gets the most pleasure, because he's sharing that information that he's an expert at, and that's how e-commerce works.
Yeah.
To me, or content marketing works. It's like, let's talk what we fucking know about.
Yeah.
Okay. And oh, by the way, we have a store, so if you need something, it's there. But like, if you make the store your priority, then your focus on your content's going to suck. Your content's going to suck.
What's the difference between you and every single other person selling wrist straps then? I mean, like, obviously,
go buy them on Amazon, right?
Exactly. I mean, a big part for us, you know, I'm not saying like if you go buy the cheapest wrist straps on Amazon, you compare them to EliteFTS ones, they'll be exactly the same, because they absolutely will not. Like, EliteFTS makes good shit like in everything we do.
They were made by powerlifters for powerlifters.
Yeah. And but EliteFTS wasn't started because Dave really wanted everyone in the world to own a pair of wrist straps and to buy a pair of wrist straps. EliteFTS was founded by going, what his goal in life, I guess now I'm totally speaking for him, but I think it's correct, so I'll just keep going with it. His goal was to get more people strong, you know, to share the information he had learned for free his entire life and give it to other people so that they can go and reap the benefits that he got in his life from the gym. The e-commerce is just the place where money comes in to make that happen better.
It's also a resource. So it's like, hey, listen, here's the tools that Dave has used to get bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you're going to need this stuff. If this is what you're interested in, we got it here. And the market dictates the price. Yeah. So it's not like we're overcharging or anything like that. So it's set up perfectly. It's a great system. But you're right. I mean, the information that he has provided and continues to provide, but it's ever changing. Yeah. So it's like, what's next for us?
Well, just the way the internet has, because we're an internet-based company. We started at the foundation of the internet when I was an infant at that point, but we've been around for the evolution of the internet, and so we change all the time. And
from start to finish, we've been on the internet.
But that's and everyone knows the internet's freaking changed. It's so much every 6 months even.
Right.
And so that's always the goal, It's like, how can we stay up to date with how the internet works so that we can reach the most amount of people?
That's it. So that's why we're ever evolving. So we're we want to be innovators when it comes to delivering content, disseminating our information. There's technology and resources coming out on platforms like Google and Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube that we are trying to stay at the forefront of. And this is where Dave's putting a lot of his time in. We were just talking about my stupid deadlift video. And it's like, okay, let's find the people that commented on it that had the best comments. Yeah. And let's get them on and let's have a chat with them. Let's see why Steve said what he said. Steve Goggins said what he said. Let's see why one of our other coaches ripped me apart. Let's see why, what Nate Harvey had to say.
Yeah. I feel like we had a ton of coaches and columnists comment on that, which kind of...
Wasn't it great?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, of course, I'm going back in a circle to how much I love EliteFTS, but it goes and it speaks to, the foundation of it is we have these people who just want to help other people,
That's right.
That's why they left a comment. And they're knowledgeable, which is always good.
And that's, I think, the engagement that we can that we're going to be able to provide. So a concept we're kicking around with that is if we had our followers, customers, people that read our content, submit a, grade my squat video, okay? And they knew the risks associated with it. The risks are we're going to post it and we're going to get our community to chime in. We want to make our community the best. Yeah. We want to make our community better. So we have someone submit a squat video and it looks like dog shit. Let's say it's so high it makes their nose bleed, right? And we get the followers to chime in. And as long as the person that submitted the video understands that the largest majority is going to be very, very constructive and good, we're going to have the top coaches from around the world assessing this, okay, and leaving comments. And then you're going to have some people trying to be funny and sarcastic, and then you're going to have people that tell you you're a piece of shit and you deserve to die and you should never, ever squat ever again.
Never. And
be able to filter that out, and then we get you on, and then you could talk to one of our coaches, and we get this thing fixed. Yeah. That is the age of the internet that we're in, where we can make our community stronger. Boy, think about it. It's just such a macrocosm of or microcosm of the world, right? If we are able to build our communities bigger and stronger and faster and better, and we're able to, this is it. I was on this football team in middle school, and we had, just honest to God, some of the best athletes I've ever seen. And I know this for a fact that these were great individual athletes, because years after, we had guys playing in the NFL, playing in the NBA from our school, public school in Canton, Ohio. And these guys were awesome. And we had the worst team ever. We won one game, and it was against the middle school from across town that we actually formed a high school together with. We beat those guys, right? So we sucked so bad, and it was not because of lack of talent.
Yeah.
It was because no one on the team got along. The best athletes were not lifting up the worst athletes.
Yeah.
The worst athletes were fucking fighting with the best athletes all the time because they were being assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great.
Everyone just no one was there to help each other. No one was there to get better. People were just there trying to do the sport, but trying to make it happen on their own, and then ignoring the fact that there's a whole other team.
It was complete grab ass.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. I mean, like, these guys spitting on each other and picking on the guys that weren't as strong and fast, and the coach is like, "What the hell's the matter with you guys?" And it's like, some adult guidance would have been great. I mean, we're just
Middle
teenagers,
schoolers.
right?
Like we said before, kids are. What was the word we used? But middle schoolers are like the peak example of trolls.
They're the trolls, right?
Trolls.
But like we were trolling each other on our own team, and had we figured out how to maximize each other's talents, we would have dominated. And you know what? I think some of those top level athletes could have went on and made a career out of it, to be perfectly honest, but they didn't. Yeah. And that's what I think we can create here with EliteFTS. We can make a group of people that are giving the best advice, making our followers stronger and faster, creating an environment that does more than just write blogs and do podcasts, but we literally make people stronger.
Yeah. Well, that's why Dave always speaks to the power of group training, because when done right, you've gone from one person with one coach to one person with every single person in their group's a coach for each other.
Yeah.
If you can have 10 eyes on a squat, that's 10 more opportunities to notice what you can fix to get better. And then if people aren't getting better, if your training partners aren't getting better, that's your responsibility. Well, what the fuck are you doing if the guy next to you can't get his squat up? Maybe you need to step in and either help him fix what his squat is or what he's doing incorrectly to fix it.
Teachers end up being the best students. When I teach someone, when I try to teach my kids lessons, I end up learning the fucking lesson the best.
Yeah.
I really do. I can't remember what I was talking to my son about, but I was like explaining it to him and how life works or something like that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I was talking to myself the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. I am a better golfer when I play with guys that beat my ass in golf.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a better golfer, but I play a much shittier game when I play against scrubs.
Yeah.
So we need to create environments where
the virtual group training,
virtual group training. And the bigger the community, the better.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't think that it's our responsibility necessarily to censor comments or kick people off, or they're just the ones that aren't going to get stronger.
Yeah.
But if their goals are, I think that this is exactly what we can do. So the learning process is just going to be, how do we do it?
Yeah.
How do we do? What's the best way to put it out? Is it Instagram? Should we do it on YouTube? How do we get the top coaches in that leave the best comments to do some one-on-one stuff with the person that submitted the video that we also share to the rest of the group? I think that's, and then like I said, that's the microcosm of society.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the key is with it though is to get involvement from everybody, for everybody to understand what is in it for them. So how is it going to benefit you to leave positive critiques all the time? We see the post, swipe through it. Okay, it's great, nice.
It's great, it's shit, whatever.
Whatever, it's great, it's shit, it sucks, it's good, whatever. But what's going to incentivize you to leave a comment that says, hey, wasn't too bad, tighten your back up, look forward, sniff some smelling salts?
It's probably like a stoic philosophy type quote that I've seen where it loosely applies to this, but I think it fits, I don't know, not loosely. It's how do I know that my thoughts make any sense if I don't write them down and then read them from the other person's perspective, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's I think that's what you were saying, you know, when you're talking to your son, you know, is once you try to actually formulate your own thoughts into an argument and then actually put it down somewhere, that's when you actually have the opportunity to go, hey, wait, this doesn't make sense, or this is what I'm saying, but this is not what I'm doing, you know?
Right.
I've always thought that's a good, you know, even if you're not writing it literally in the form of a comment, but going and actually forming the argument and then asking yourself questions on your own argument.
Absolutely. It's personal development.
Yeah.
Which is like, personal development is like one of my, like, I'm a junkie on it. Like,
well, I think everyone indirectly
that
lifts weights is, you know, that is lifting weights. That's the reason Dave has a freaking book or 2 or 3, I don't even know how many at this point, about how that's what lifting weights is. You know, it's personal development, physically embodied.
If you don't want to get better, like, if anyone said, I don't want to get better,
yeah,
I want to stay just like this, is full of shit.
Yeah.
Right? So, but we have
or
to...
they're wrong.
Yeah, or they're wrong. But we have to understand human nature, too.
Yeah.
Human nature is like, it's flat out, what is in it for me?
Yeah.
Okay, what is in it for me? And that's okay. You don't need to feel like you're a selfish bastard because you say that. But there's a way to formulate it where benefit to me is also benefit to the group.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, by you commenting on a squat video, okay, you will, just like you said, that exercise, I will learn exactly what I'm saying, and it'll apply to myself.
When I go to write out something, like because I work with a couple people like remotely, when I go to say something, you know, when I go to type with a text message, it's not something I can usually crank out in 5 seconds, you know. Like sometimes like, oh, this is an obvious glaring thing, but you have to go and try to articulate it in a way, and, you know, it's a thinking exercise more than it's a writing exercise, or I guess you could say they're the same thing.
Yeah.
But and then if that doesn't work, then you go and you try it again in different ways. So you're expanding your ideas about lifting, you're expanding your own cue repertoire for your own work, you know. It's you improve more than one trait at once when you try to help other people. But also more broadly than just lifting, like I guess this is I feel like I have to preface everything I say with,
you do.
I don't know how related this even is, because I love going off in 9 different directions. But when you talk about human nature and the desire to be selfish, it's funny because I always see people, they want to narrow down human nature and they want to pretend it's only that, you know. They want to say human nature is one thing, it's being selfish, when actual natural selection, you know, because that's kind of the other side of the coin of human nature, is everyone wants to talk evolution and stuff like that. And the idea of evolution is that slowly over time, everyone's going to become a freaking super genius that also has giant muscles, and they're going to dominate everyone around each other, and they're going to murder everyone who's too tiny and weak to do anything about it. But the way human evolution actually worked for humans is we didn't turn into gorillas. You know, we didn't just turn into giant fucking murder machines. We turned into people that became better at helping each other, because that's how evolution actually progressed. You know, it wasn't who killed other gorillas the best. It was how did more gorillas survive. And we didn't survive by becoming stronger physically. We became better by becoming stronger mentally and socially with each other.
Instead of you want to edit it a little bit, instead of survival of the fittest.
Well, I don't want to edit it.
No, survival of the survivalist.
Well, exactly.
Right?
Fittest isn't literally the fittest. It's not who's got the biggest
survivalist.
biceps. Yeah, fittest is the one who's best suited for their environment.
Right.
And sometimes the best way you can evolve, or the best way you can be suited for your environment, is the person who can help other people so that you're a stronger force, you know. Like
stronger force.
The one super gorilla does not beat the 10 average gorillas.
And then end up multiplying and having super gorilla babies.
And then you have a gorilla metropolis.
Super gorilla.
Yeah.
That's some deep shit.
I was gonna say that was, you know,
I love it.
It was kind of related, but it wasn't. But I think that's kind of
that's the
today.
thing. It's like it's the idea of growing and developing
personal development,
your community to the point where
everyone benefits beyond just who you can talk to.
That's how it has to be. For anything to work, it has to, first and foremost, you're not going to lift a finger if there's nothing in it for you.
Exactly.
I mean, we could say that, I'm the most fucking altruistic person in the world, I'm going to do this for you. Truth is, if there has to be an ounce of it that's in it for you.
At the very least, you have to enjoy being altruistic, or else you wouldn't do it. Like if you hated helping people entirely and you saw no benefit out of it, like why would anyone help anybody?
No one would. And you don't even need to, like, let's call it fake altruism. You don't even need to be fake altruistic. It's like, listen, I'm doing this because it's going to make me stronger.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like, if my goal is to improve my deadlift, okay, what I should be doing is finding ways to work with people that have never deadlifted before. Like, I'm a beginner, right? But there's people that don't even know what deadlift is.
Yeah.
With a goal,
there's people deadlifting for the very first time.
That their goal is to have a stronger deadlift.
Yeah.
So by me sharing live, learn, pass on, man. Me sharing the information that I'm gathering with these people in a way that they know that, I'm coming from a place of, listen, the reason I'm telling you this is so I can reiterate it in my own mind and make my deadlift better. Yeah. But listen, we're all going to win, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah. If your deadlift gets better and I, become better at my deadlift, then win. Who cares why I did it?
Win-win's the only way to win.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's like...
You can't have a net... When helping other people, it's not a zero-sum game, It's not like I have to take from you to get better. It's like, no, if I can give to you and I get in exchange, that's... there is no negative sometimes.
There is this part in us where I think that we feel like we're competitive. We compare.
Oh, yeah.
How's my deadlift compared to this person? Okay.
That's the monkey brain.
We want to be, it's the monkey brain.
Or the lizard brain even more.
We want to be reptilian brain, right? We want to be better than the next guy. Okay. Well, if you give them all your secrets, okay, they're gonna get better, and so why would you? Yeah, then you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
Now when you compare yourself to the other person, they're better than you.
Yeah.
Well, I think eventually we get to this point of maturity where it's like that person's good, right? But by combining our forces, he will stay better than me, but I will get way better. And it's me versus me instead of me versus him.
Or even this goes back to group training and Westside and Dave talk of if I give you all my secrets and you get better, well, then someone's going to have to come up with more secrets, and then I'm going to get better too,
That's right.
Because if we both have the same exact knowledge base, that means we're both hunting for new things, I'm not here and you're trying to catch up with me. We're both here and we're both moving forward.
That's it.
And if anything, you can get ahead of me and then I can catch up with you. And no matter what, I ended up higher than where I started.
What are we so scared of? What are we so afraid of then?
Yeah. Not being the top dog is what people are afraid of, but the reality is you're never the top dog.
If you lifted more than you lifted yesterday, if you did better in this meet than you did at the last meet, okay, that is where your competition should be. And I have a feeling, okay, that the bigger the group that shares this insider information, this insider knowledge, that's why Westside was the best.
Yeah.
Right? That's why Westside was the best.
Coaches there.
They all helped each other. They all, hey, listen, they seemed like a pretty cool group and they knew how to have fun, but
that's one way to put it.
They shared that information with each other because they knew the secret. Mm-hmm. And the secret is, if you can make your buddy better, you're going to get better.
Yeah. Well, it's like in strongman, you don't always have the advantage of just trying to beat your last PR, right? Because you walk into a powerlifting meet and you can say, I'm going to take the exact same weights that I did last powerlifting meet. But with a strongman meet, you show up and they're like, these are the weights you're going to have to do whether you think you're ready for them or not. And I think that's kind of the same parallel. If everyone gets better, all of a sudden the bar's been raised, and sometimes you go to reach that potential. That's why every time a world record's broken, we see former other people go and beat the old world record trying to catch up, because they see it's a new bar to hit, and people always, they have their sights set on something. So the higher you can get people to set their sights and believe that they can achieve it, the higher they're going to go, no matter what. If someone pulls a 1,200 pound, like with Eddie's deadlift, he pulled 1,100, right? Now, how many people are pulling just under 1,100 when before they weren't pulling above like 1,000 by much?
That's the 4-minute mile. Right?
Yeah, exactly. JM talks about it. Dave talks. Everybody fucking talks about it, because it's so important how we view, what we're trying to achieve and what we're capable of.
So let me ask you this then. I think it's easy to talk about it from a gym standpoint and getting stronger and lifting more weights, where you can see that the competition, if the next guy is stronger than you, your buddy's stronger than you share all your secrets, you both get stronger together, but he stays stronger than you. Okay, no fucking big deal, because, to me, that's no big deal, right? If you're stronger than me, Mason, okay, and if we work together and you get stronger and I get stronger, cool. If I don't get stronger than you, I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about in business, when you have legitimate competitors trying to take you out, right? But your business is your livelihood, okay, and it's how you create the lifestyle that you want to create. So it has a little bit more impact on how much income you bring in, how much, like, whether I'm strong or not, my family life won't change.
Yeah.
My living situation won't change. But if my income changes, that could fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
So the question is how do we work symbiotically like that to grow together? As I think, like, hopefully we're not getting into like politics at all, of like whatever, but like, it's like, how can corporations work together that are doing the exact same thing and both of them benefit? Like, I can see a vendor relationship where, we work with Spudding Straps, right?
Yeah.
And we work with Spud, and he grows and we grow and everyone's happy, right? But what about, let's say I work for Bank of America and you work for Chase, and we're both fighting for the same customers and clients. I don't see a common ground.
Yeah.
Do you?
Well, that's where you kind of reach the point where it's a zero-sum game, because for every customer that you gain, that's one that I just lost in theory.
I mean, now is it?
Unless you find ways to create new customers.
Or do we have to differentiate where it's like, hey, listen, you guys are really good at this. We're going to let you have this piece of the business. Where we excel is this.
Yeah.
All right. You throw us a bone, we'll throw you a bone, kind of thing. But then you get into that situation. It was like, man, I threw you 2 bones and you didn't throw me any back yet.
Yeah.
We're not going to throw you another bone until you throw us a bone.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers, I guess.
I really thought we were going to solve every single. I thought we were
close.
On a roll and we were about to solve every problem ever.
So
and
look,
then here,
that's the. So like, there's got to be. I mean, now you think about it, it's like there's a lot of situations like that where competition is. I don't think we should have like one bank. Competition's great because it's like it keeps people honest.
Competition drives progress done correctly. The farther, like we're saying, you raise the bar and people meet the bar, and then the bar keeps moving and things.
So
keep
maybe
getting
it's not a matter of me versus you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's still the same mentality of me versus me. There's more than enough of the pie to go around. Okay, and I don't necessarily need to chop my competitor down in order to succeed.
The growth versus scarcity mindset, it's like you're not fighting over one pie. You're like, how do we make more pies? Because there's two ways to view it. You're like, how do I get what can be got or versus
market share.
Yeah.
Make more market share.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, Mason, you're on fire. That's a concept. Make more market share.
Yeah. Well, it's just I'm just I'm reiterating growth versus scarcity mindsets, which is a kind of generic influencer thing sometimes, but it's fair, it's valid. It's definitely, it can make the difference in how you approach something and whether or not you succeed.
And it really, at the end of the day, it's talking about like I think we all need to be very specific and think about like what we really want our goals to be.
Yeah. KPIs again. We're all the way back now. We've made a full circle that was
back to KPIs.
A very squiggly circle.
So it's like, okay, know what you want. Know why you want it.
Yeah. Ask the right questions.
Ask the right question. And this is like for personal trainers too. Yeah. Like the best personal trainers are the ones that ask the most questions to their clients. Yep. If you're like shopping for personal trainers, if you just go to a personal trainer who's like, okay, and is able to spit you a program on the spot, that's not the trainer for you. Yeah. We were talking about this earlier.
This is my article. I got up from a chair where I was writing about near or the exact same concept.
We were listening to a podcast not too long ago, just kind of, the marketing team here. And it was in regards to certain prescription drugs. And it was at a point where GPs, your general practitioners, had just basically a checklist to determine if this prescription drug may or may not help you. Yeah. And these prescription drugs, I mean, we're putting chemicals into our body. So it's like we don't even know if there's long-term side effects, but there could be. Yeah. And everyone's different. But the fact that there's not a in-depth needs analysis that's done where you're asking questions regarding lifestyle, you're doing a blood test, to determine certain levels. These things aren't taken into consideration, but you're just given something that is dangerous.
I don't even know if I said this, but like literally the main.
Let me guess, you're writing an article about this.
Needs analysis. Well, that's like that was the title. Like before I have an actual title, it's needs analysis for athletes. Like that's what the article is. So I just thought it's funny you mentioned those exact words. I was like, did I say this?
We're on like a wavelength today.
But yeah, I get what you mean. But I think you were still like only halfway into your point. So keep going.
Well, really, the point is if we're not asking enough questions.
Yeah.
Then
if we're not finding out what the actual problem is, then we're just waiting to see if you have the right things and throwing stuff at you.
My favorite job that I've had, when
you worked at Red Robin.
I didn't like the job that I worked at Red Robin, but the job that I had when I first got out of college, I was selling health club memberships, and it was so cool because, my degree's in exercise science. I did some personal training for about 1.5 years before, and I was interested in the business side. Like I was like, I don't want to wear warm-ups into work. I want to wear a tie, just to see.
Usually I hear the opposite.
It's always the opposite. I want to wear a tie. So we had.
I don't wear sweatpants every day, Tim.
Where I started was I worked at a gym in a health club, in Toledo, Ohio, and we had a sales manager there who was just literally like Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, the world's greatest salesman kind of guy. And the way that he was able to, when I first watched him, like do a needs analysis without a notepad and like ask all these questions to pull out all the possible objections of why people wouldn't join a health club during a tour of the facility, I was like, oh my God, this guy's like, I think one of his favorite lines was like, all good lawyers already know the answer to the question before they ask it. And he would ask these questions in a health club. There was, at the time, this was a while ago, 5 reasons why people wouldn't join a health club. Time. Yeah. I don't have enough time. Travel. I live too far away from this place. Money. I can't afford it. Hold on. Time, travel, money.
You're good.
Okay. Spouse.
Yeah.
I have to ask my husband. I have to ask my wife.
I think I learned these exact same things in school. So
And commitment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to sign a year contract or whatever. He would be able to ask these 5 questions while giving a tour of the facility. Like when you're touring a health club facility, you don't need to say, all right, well, over here is the treadmill, and over here are
People
our...
can see a treadmill.
You know what a fucking treadmill is, right? You don't need to do that. You just walk it, and while you're walking it, you go through these 5 objections. And if you're able to extract the objection and pull out or
counter it,
and tell them why and how it's going to work, get them visualizing, get them to actually counter it for you, then the membership is sold.
Yeah.
This guy was like, we had the most expensive memberships in town. Yeah. He would close at like a 90% closing percentage. And it was like insane. And I'm like, I want to be exactly like that. Yeah. So I would there was one of the like top consultants in the industry. I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her name is Casey Conrad. And Casey like designed the needs analysis for the health club. And basically she would give you the objection and what is most likely said as the objection. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, or I work too far away, or whatever the objection was. She was able to articulate it in the many different ways that someone could on a tour, and then give you all the rebuttals to it. And it was like they tell you the objection, you rebuttal it, and then you tie them down, and then you close. So it was like, hey, I don't know if I can afford it, or let me think of a better one. Like, I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time to get in here. Well, what time would you be exercising, you think? Oh, about 5 o'clock at night. So you already know that they know what time they're going to be coming in. So he's like, oh, okay, well, that's an excellent time to get in here. How many days a week you think you can do that? So you're already getting them planning their workout, right? And then you just, time down. Great. Does that sound like something you think you can do? Yeah. Fucking welcome to the club. Let me get the paperwork. Let's do this shit. So that was always like of massive interest to me, which is like not manipulation, because that sounds like a bad word, but it's more of like, we felt like in the health club, most people were non-exercisers. Yeah. And if they came in to tour our club, that was the closest they've been to exercising probably in a long time, if not their lifetime.
Well, they're not coming to you because they don't want to exercise. You're only getting people who are already thinking about going to the gym very strongly.
Now, if we let them walk out the door without getting them to sign up, they're not
coming back.
They're not. Yeah, the Be Back bus never came to our gym, but also we let that person down. Mm-hmm. That was the closest they've been to exercising. We just let them fucking walk. Yeah. They're not going to get any healthier. And this is for people that are like passionate and know the benefits of exercise.
Well, that's for me, and I'm sure for hundreds of thousands of other people, that's the conundrum. I don't want to be a salesman. I want to be a person that helps somebody, and that's. I don't know who I got it from, but it's like that should be the easiest part for you. You should be able to sell people on exercise no matter what, because that's the part that you're passionate about. And if they're right there, they're already right there on the fence. So you don't have to sell. You just have to make it work. You just
benefits.
Have to, you just have to cross the little line.
Well, and that's the thing is, I think that no one wants to get sold anything.
Yeah.
But you want to be given options, right? Yeah. You don't want to be sold, but you want to have options. And that was like one of the things that, us as personal trainers or us as trainers have to do is we need to provide options, but then, we select the options ahead of time. Okay. This is how we can do it. And I think the best trainers out there, the ones that are able to grow their businesses the best, are the ones that know how to do an effective needs analysis, ask all the questions, present all the options, and then sit there and go through the options with them and select the one that's best for them. We would when we owned our gym, we would have personal trainers that were just getting started, and they would present the different PT packages, and for whatever reason, the new trainers would always sell them the 1 day a week workout plan that was $104 a month. And I would say, we would do a real good training with them first, but like it always came back where we'd have to do
follow up.
More sharpening of the sword. So it was like, you sold them 1 day a week for 4 weeks. This person has 70 pounds to lose. They told you they want to lose 70 pounds. Do you think they're going to lose 70 pounds on 1 day a week? No. Well, why did you sell that to them? You sold them a piece of shit. Like that person.
You sold them the least effective training plan you had.
So here's what's going to happen. They're going to find out in a month that they've lost 2 of their 75 pounds and think, fuck, this trainer's not working for shit.
Yeah.
They're going to go around and tell everybody how personal trainers are the biggest fucking waste of money and it will never work. And you know why? Because you didn't sell them what they needed. You sold them what they wanted.
Yeah.
So we have to do a better job of, breaking it down, say, to effectively lose 75 pounds, we're talking 3 to 4 pounds a week, working out with me 3 to 4 times a week. And if we do it that way, you will lose 75 pounds in 15 weeks, whatever it is, and break it down mathematically. And then they'll say, well, I'm not going to pay $600 a month to do that. Look, if your doctor said, listen, I'm going to give you an option that you pay me $600 a month for the next 6 months and you will lose 75 pounds. Would you take that deal?
Yeah, everyone would.
Fuck yeah, you take it.
Everyone take worse deals for, various plastic surgeries already.
Think about it. Like, okay, plastic surgery works. It's effective. There's no doubt about it. It costs way more than $600 a month for 6 months.
Costs a hell of a lot
and
more.
on top of it, you don't change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's
you don't even get the health benefits either. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms. But
that's exactly right.
You only feel better from the visual perspective. You don't feel better from the actual health perspective.
Now, of course, you're asking someone to give you money.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that. But what you're going to give in exchange, the service you're going to give in exchange is
something they'd pay 4 times for.
If they could see the future.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of times it's like, this whole cause and effect thing. It's like people have tried to exercise on their own and like never got the results that they wanted. And now you're going to pay someone to possibly not get the results that you want. It's like, fuck, how do I do that? So it can be a tough thing to wrap your head around and purchase. But if you pitch that with the enthusiasm and confidence, that's why I think internships are great for personal trainers, especially. Like, let's build some case studies, proof of concept. Yeah. Write it down, document it. And the worst part is like you can't personal train for free. Yeah. Because you know what? You miss the commitment part.
True.
If you get $1,500 for someone, you bet their ass are going to be there.
You got $1,500 worth of buy-in right there.
We would give people free 1-month passes to the gym. Never use it. You know why? Because there's no value in a free pass. Yeah. So if we took a deposit, they'd probably come in. Yeah. They'd probably come in. If we took a deposit and say, hey, listen, here's a deposit to try it out for a month. All we ask is that you come in twice a week, and if you don't like it after that, you get your deposit back in full. Yeah. But if you don't come, we keep your deposit, and then you can go piss off. Right?
Smart.
My mom actually came up with a pretty good concept. We feel that like the more people that used the gym, the better. You hear all these people who are like, yeah, you hope they come in and never and sign the membership for a year and never use the equipment.
Yeah,
like
the Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness model. Yeah, we hope you spend $10 a month and then you never miss it. And you're like, oh, and going back, and no one uses the equipment, put wear and tear on it. That could be further from the truth, because you want people in that gym every day busting their ass, losing weight. Yeah. And so their friends are asking like, damn, what are you doing?
The people at the top of Planet Fitness want, no one to go to the gym, but all the personal trainers at any gym are the ones who actually want you there.
I actually think it's the opposite. Like I wanted so many people in our gym that, so we try to figure out.
I meant like way higher than
I know what you mean.
The people who haven't stepped foot in the
don't
physical
know how
gyms.
It works. Yeah.
They're only making money off of it.
The investors.
Yeah.
The guys who have to front the money for the equipment.
The guy who was told, this is how much money you're going to get in exchange if no one uses
the franchisee who knows shit about fitness, right? So we wanted to figure out a model where there was a financial incentive to be in the club more. Like almost like if you use the club,
you pay less.
Exactly. Like if you use the club 4 days a week, instead of paying $40 a month, you're only going to pay $20 a month. And think about what that fucking model would do. Like the person would look great, feel great, be banging your drum for you. You'd have so many new members, I think.
Yeah.
Now that model has never been tested.
It's probably been tested a little, but not enough that anyone knows about it.
Like, I mean, would it even work if you're like, okay, say your normal membership was $50 a month, okay, and you use the gym 4 days a week, and every time that you scan through, it takes X amount of dollars, $2 off your membership at the month.
It was a gimmicky idea, and I think it was actually done of gyms that generated power off of their machines. So if you came in and you pedaled your ass off on the bike, they would be physically converted into electricity, and your membership would cost less.
That's a win-win. Right?
I don't know how far that idea made it, because I feel like you're bringing in like $20,000 bikes to do that.
So here was a study that was done by insurance companies.
Yeah.
And I don't know the data, but I know what happened. Basically, it was one of those deals where the insurance company said, we would pay, or your insurance premiums would go down X amount if you use the health club 3 times a week. And the person didn't even have to use the club.
Yeah.
All they had to do was go scan in their card, and they could walk right out. And they weren't held accountable, whatever. No one cared. But their insurance rates would go down. So at first, the people that were non-exercisers would go swipe their card and leave. Swipe their card. After 3 weeks, a significant percentage said, you know what, fuck it, I'm here.
Yeah.
And got on a bike. And then before you know it, a bigger percentage. And then they actually started working out more than just 30 minutes on a bike.
Yeah.
And they were doing more because they were seeing results. So, I mean, this podcast has kind of went all over the place. But, like, that's some interesting insight behind, maybe some of the ideas and concepts these gyms can use when they're coming back online now.
Yeah. Coming back in person, online.
That's right. That's right.
I think to give you one more end cap of that, I think it was Terry Crews who that was his workout advice was don't, your first day in the gym isn't the day to go in and destroy your muscles. The first day of the gym, show up and like drink a smoothie, then leave, just get in the habit of physically showing up at the gym, doing literally anything. And eventually, it'll turn into working out, taking it seriously and seeing results. It's habits, it's consistency.
So when we would do a tour for our gym, when we would walk through, we would say, okay, so first thing you come in, and you scan your card here, and then you walk this way, and this is where, like, we find out they're going to come from work. Okay, you're going to have your gym bag with you because you're coming from work, and you're going to walk into the changing room here. So the psychology behind that was like, okay, get the person already visualizing themselves coming through, swiping the card with the gym bag.
That's mental rep right there.
That's a mental rep.
That's a time you've already been to the gym in your head.
And apparently that helped us sell more memberships.
I believe it.
So how do we wrap this up?
I was going to say, what do we even have anything else left on the agenda, or
you got a closing line? What's your famous tagline?
Yeah.
Keep it classy and stay classy.
San Diego.
London, Ohio. Well, how about this? So, I guess what we can commit to, the people that do tune in and watch this is, we want to know how we can help, how we can build this community. What particular parts do you want educated on? When you're watching the podcast, when you're watching us on YouTube, when you're watching us on Instagram, what is it that a guy like Dave can provide with his level of expertise that will help you grow not only in the gym but in other aspects of your life? And engage with us more, comment on it with us more, so we know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And then we can provide the education and support that.
You're not going to get what you want if you don't tell us what you want. We can't guess literally everything. But also not just Dave, like Tim said, EliteFTS is a lot of people, not a lot, but more than just Dave. And so we have, if there's anything you think Dave might not be the expert on, go and check EliteFTS if you don't know any of our team already, because we probably have someone who knows the question to anything you have to ask. We've got bodybuilders, we've got diet coaches, we've got online personal trainers, we got gym owners, we got people who consult for gym owners.
That's right.
We have every single piece of the pie, and we can make content on anything because we have the experts on everything. As crazy as that sounds, it's a bold claim, but I think we can back it up.
Dude, that was perfect. All right, man. Let's have a good weekend. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.